Hi, everybody. I'm Deb Corluca, Executive Director of the Medical Crisis Program, and I am here to welcome you to the 2020 Gala, which we usually hold on the terrace of the beautiful Stillwater Library. But today, we are here welcoming you to our farm and our horses. And right now, I would like to introduce you to the MCs, Alex Walker.
Hello. And Stephanie Atkins.
Hello, and I get to introduce you to our celebrity MC, Zora.
As you can tell, this is not the Stillwater Library, though when we tried to bring the horses up there, we were rudely sent away. However, we figured this is going to be the best that we're going to be able to do in a pandemic, and quite frankly, it's a lovely scene. We have terrific MCs, and I'm not just talking about Stephanie and I.
We particularly like Zora.
And you'll get to meet some of the other stable mates as well later on. But to start things off, Deb, please tell us a little bit about the mission of MCP.
All right. Thank you for asking about that. The mission of MCP provides help in the form of a monetary grant to those that are suffering in medical crisis. We will pay for a medical bill, mortgage or rent that is behind payment, or utility bills. So we have been a nonprofit for 6 years now. The organization is named after my mom. She was very compassionate for people in need. So therefore, this organization is her legacy, and we continue, especially now in the time of this pandemic, to be able to help people with even a greater amount that we have helped people with in the past, if possible. So we are here today to entertain you and to share these special creatures.
I mean, seriously, if you can't give money when watching horses pitching for a medical crisis, I'm just really not sure what's going to compel you. Oh, hi. And it's nice to meet you, too.
I just want to add that at any time during this program, if you feel moved to make a donation, you can go to LOMCP.com, and we always are happy to accept cash. I mean, Zora would prefer grain, but honestly, that really doesn't help us very much. So dollars, beautiful, we love it, and also you can find brilliant silent auction items.
It's going to be an auction unlike anything anyone's ever experienced before.
So if
We
you
don't even know what's
don't
happening.
stick around for that, I don't know what else you stick around for.
Also, horses.
And horses, yes. And also, you would have received an email with a link to One Cause, where you can bid on these live silent auction items that will be shown to you by horses.
So we are going to start things off by introducing Father Ben Tucci, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the history of the organization and introduce you to one of its grantees.
Hi, my name is Father Benjamin Tucci, and I'm with LOMCP, and I've been a director, secretary, and one of its founding members for about 6 years now. It has been an amazing organization to be a part of. I want to thank all of my team that have been a part of this, all the directors, all the volunteers, all the workers, all the staff that we have had. And over these years, it has been an absolute joy to be a part of this program. The wonderful people who work with me and work with us to make sure that this organization really starts to grow, really starts to thrive, and really starts to help people. That is our main goal, is to be here to help others. You know, most of us on this are volunteers. We are committed to a life of service and helping people in this community and the communities surrounding. We've been able to provide a set of tires for someone who wouldn't ordinarily be able to get to work after a serious medical crisis. These types of things you would think are, small potatoes, but for a lot of people, that's their lifestyle. We were able to provide that. This past year, in 2019, we were able to give 15 grants of $1,000 each. And as we grow in sustainability, we're hoping to provide more opportunities for people and more grants for people so that we could reach out even more and branch out even more. But in order to grow, we need support, we need help. So a lot of our money that we give, that you give, goes almost most of it directly to the person in need. If you can find within your hearts of hearts to be able to give us more, we could do more with that. I have a quote from Margaret Mead. Years ago, anthropologist Margaret Mead was asked by a student what she considered to be the first sign of civilization in a culture. The student expected Mead to talk about fish hooks or clay pots or grinding stones. But no, Mead said that the first sign of civilization in an ancient culture was a femur, a thigh bone, that had been broken and then healed. Mead explained that in the animal kingdom, if you break your leg, you die. You cannot run from danger, get to the river for a drink, or hunt for food. You are meat for prowling beasts. No animal survives a broken leg long enough for the bone to heal. A broken femur that is healed is evidence that someone has taken time to stay with the one who fell, has bound up the wound, has carried the person to safety, and has tended the person through recovery. Helping someone else through difficulty is where civilization starts, Mead said. If we take this and understand what it means in light of the organization, to be able to provide us with the monetary resources we need, we are able to give and to grow and to give to the people that need it the most. Here today is Elizabeth Marsh. She's here to talk about her experience with LOMCP.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name is Elizabeth Marsh. My family and I reside in Zimmerman, Minnesota. We have two beautiful daughters, Allison and Madison, and my husband Andrew also lives with us. Our daughter Allison has complex medical needs and has needed 7 brain surgeries to date. We have been extremely blessed by the crisis grant. We can never repay what they have done for us, and we are very thankful for their support. Allison was born with hydrocephalus, which is excess fluid on her brain. She also has cerebral palsy. She has a VP shunt due to the hydrocephalus, and she also has heart conditions. Throughout the many years that we've been going to doctor's appointments and surgeries and hospital stays, we've been so appreciative for programs like the Lynn Oslin Memorial Crisis Grant, and it has helped us through many hard times. I'm sure you can imagine juggling work and school and just everyday life with a kiddo who has to have long hospital stays. I just want to say thank you for supporting this program, and we are so appreciative for everything that you guys do and the support that you give them.
Whew, wow, that's a really powerful story.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Deb, as a mother, I can't even imagine how stressful it would be to have somebody that you love so much, to have a child have a health crisis, and the stress that would be with bills to pay and everything. So I just think what you're doing with the medical crisis program is amazing and so necessary and so worth supporting in every way possible.
Of course, during a pandemic like coronavirus, medical crisis takes on an even more expanded meaning. The coronavirus has disrupted everyone's lives. So many people have lost work. So many people are suffering right now. The gifts that MCP provides are more important than ever, as is the way we take care of ourselves and each other during this pandemic. And so right now we'd like to introduce Dr. Andrew Laudenbach to speak a little bit more about what happens when coronavirus hits home.
Hi, my name is Andy Laudenbach. I'm an emergency medicine physician at Hennepin Healthcare in downtown Minneapolis. I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk with you a little bit about COVID-19 and my experiences both through my work and in my life.
It's been a really difficult year with this new experience that we're all sharing together. COVID has been hard on our community and on us as individuals. Probably mostly or more so the underprivileged, disadvantaged communities have, at least in my experience, been hit the hardest for a few reasons. It seems like living in tighter quarters, in denser populations, they are at higher risk of catching this disease. But also when they do catch it or even are exposed to it, they tend to suffer more working in jobs where it's difficult for them to have paid time off when they're sick. They might not have any or adequate health insurance. And another thing I've noticed about COVID that is really unique is that it's really a lonely disease, and I think we've all experienced that. But also when people are sick or exposed to COVID, they might have to come to the emergency department where they're alone, not allowed to have visitors due to risk of spread of the disease. And if they're sick enough where they have to be hospitalized, oftentimes they're in the hospital for days or weeks with few, if any, visitors. And if it comes to the point where they're critically ill and potentially spending their last days in the hospital, those days are often spent alone with only the company of the doctors and nurses taking care of them.
So with all the uncertainty around COVID, people are understandably and rightfully concerned about the prospect of what happens if they catch it. And are oftentimes wondering, what can I do to plan for that eventuality? How can I be ready for if I am exposed or if I do catch it? And there's a number of things that I myself have done and I've seen other people doing that I think are really reasonable steps to take to be ready in case you or one of your loved ones does come down with COVID. And most of that really centers upon how can you manage living in a household, oftentimes shared household, and not put your loved ones at risk, and at the same time be able to take care of yourself, be able to eat, be able to use the restroom, do all the things that you need to do to keep going. Have a part of their house or apartment set aside where this is where I will go if I need to quarantine. And ideally, things that you will have in that set aside space would be sleeping in living quarters, access to a restroom, and access to food and water, at least the ability to get at that food or water. In addition to that, you also need to pay attention to those areas that you can't get around sharing. Like if you only have one bathroom in your living situation, you probably just need to accept that you're going to have to share it, but then you need to be particular about keeping that area clean, washing it at least daily, disinfecting shared surfaces that are being touched, such as faucets, doorknobs. And then in addition to those necessities of keeping yourself alive, the absolute bare minimum, you also need to think about your mental health. So having diversions, things that will help keep you entertained. If that's a computer, great. Board games, cards, puzzles, but something to help keep you occupied, because if you become ill with COVID, you may have to quarantine for 14 days or more, depending on how long you're ill. Early on in the course of things, when things were even less known than they are right now, I was told, and I was under the assumption that I was almost certainly going to get COVID. And with that mindset, I prepared my house and my family for what was going to happen, not if, but when I'm exposed and come down with COVID. And in my living situation, I am fortunate enough where I was able to do a number of things that I understand not everyone can do, but it'll at least give the mindset that I was in. And so I borrowed a camper that belongs to one of my family members and had it parked in the driveway so I could live completely separate from my family, yet still be close enough where we were not totally living apart. Anytime I come home from work, I'm coming in a separate entrance to my house and immediately going in and taking a shower and putting on clean clothes. And only once I've showered and cleaned myself am I going into the rest of the shared portion of my house. I've been part of a number of research studies that have actually involved me getting tested frequently, both for having acute COVID illness or for the antibodies that would say that I have at some point been ill or infected with COVID. And at least to this point, I have been negative on all accounts, because I've been very, very closely involved with a lot of individuals that have been ill, and performing some high-risk procedures on individuals that have been ill. And with the protective equipment that we have, I've managed, and almost all of my colleagues have managed to make it safely thus far. COVID has really had a disproportionate impact on a number of folks, specifically the more disadvantaged among us, with the lower incomes, the jobs where they might not have access to paid sick time or health insurance. And I think that's a huge financial burden, and that's somewhere where we all have the power to help by being generous, by helping give of what we have to them. I think that we can really make a big difference. And then lastly, I just want to thank everyone for doing their part, wearing your masks when you're in public and washing your hands when you get home. I know it doesn't seem like much, but really, everyone doing that has really done us all a great service, and I do sincerely want to thank you, because that is what's going to keep us all safe, or most of us safe.
that sound can only mean one thing, and that is that we
It's
are
silent auction time. Live silent auction time.
with a horse. These are some of Zora's favorite items, as promised earlier. And
Trust me, they are.
they are. In fact, one of them may or may not already have horse DNA all over it. Due to some licking issues, but we're not going to tell you which one because we don't want to bring down the price of the items at all. So we're going to start off with some beautiful scarves, some handmade scarves that have been made specifically with Zora in mind. This is actually Zora's great-great-grandmother Estelle, who is pictured on that one, and the other one is her great-great-grandfather Dortmund. They look exactly the same. It's because they are, but that's how you get a purebred. So we've got many of these fine scarves, and you were telling me before about how Zora likes to don these. Sometimes.
Yes, Zora thinks that she looks quite pretty in them, which I must say she does. Look at that.
Oh,
You too
beautiful.
could be styling in this wonderful scarf.
And especially as we're outside on what feels like the first day of fall. Well, I guess we're inside technically, but you saw us outside earlier. It's a wonderful thing to have during those cold winter months, and Zora will let you know that as well. Speaking of, we've got another scarf, actually a matching scarf and earrings here. These are worn reproductions of Vincent van Gogh's Irises painting. And for a night out in the town, like Zora likes to often, as you can tell by her reaction right there, partake in, I mean, you couldn't look better in this if you're a horse or a person.
You couldn't. You're absolutely right. And I will just tell you, as Zora's translator, that paw on the ground is because she's mad that her ears aren't pierced. Because she really wants those earrings. So
Not till you're older, Zora.
not
all right?
till you're older.
Of course, if you're going to go out on the town, then you've got to apply some makeup. And so these handmade brushes are perfect for that type of occasion. They can be used to put on makeup. They can be used to put on shaving cream if you're a gentleman of the night who likes to keep his face clean. I personally prefer these as bingo dotters. But really, if you purchase these, you can... we move on to some of the wooden items. First off, Minnesota-shaped cribbage board for all the games lovers out there, such as Zora.
You can see by the way her tongue is flicking that she's especially fond of this one.
Absolutely. Zora is quite the competitor. She's actually beaten me 3 times already today, despite not having opposable thumbs. Moving on, another beautiful handmade wooden craft. This is a walnut bowl. Zora, what could you possibly use this for?
She says grain would be a fine addition to that bowl. I personally would put a salad in it, but I think Zora would prefer oats.
Oats would be a good thing as well. Yeah, I also like to use it for haircuts. Sometimes it's easy to just quickly trim around that. And that, I don't know if the camera can see, but we have just a little bit of Zora juice on that right now. So that will be another item that Zora is particularly interested in. And when you purchase it, you get just a little bit of Zora with it as well. And then finally, the
Zora's
fox painting.
favorite.
The fox painting.
Yes.
Zora's favorite. This is Deborah Voida Rogers. This is a reproduction of her painting, Fox That's Not a Horse. I made up the name, but that is something that and you can tell how excited Zora is about this. This painting is so inspiring to Zora, as you can clearly tell.
Yeah.
And
And Alex, show us what Zora helped us find out about this painting.
it's handmade with love. Handmade with love. Those are just a few of the items. We also have some amazing big ticket items that we're going to detail a little bit right now. First off, we have a signed Adam Thielen jersey. Thielen is an all-pro wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, homegrown talent who comes from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, and played his college football down at Mankato. He is the Vikings stud receiver, and you can purchase this collector's item. Next up, we have 3 days and 2 nights in fabulous Las Vegas for 2 adults.
Ooh,
That's
I love
right.
it.
You can experience the excitement of Las Vegas with deluxe accommodations at your choice of the Luxor, Excalibur, Tropicana Las Vegas, Gold Coast, or the Orleans Hotel and Casinos. Of course, everybody knows Las Vegas is a world-famous vacation destination. Take a picture in front of the iconic Las Vegas sign, try your luck on the Strip, catch a show, indulge yourself at one of the countless buffets, take a scenic drive through Red Rocks Canyon, or relax on the famed gondola ride at the Venetian. Whatever you're into, Las Vegas is sure to entertain and delight anyone and everyone.
Really, most importantly in Minnesota, there's sunshine, warmth, and pools.
Which gets us to our next prize, which is 3 days and 2 nights, again, for 2 adults at your choice of dozens of top U.S. destinations. This one includes an exquisite dining experience at the Capitol Grill. You'll get a $150 gift card to that fantastic downtown St. Paul restaurant. In addition to a 3-day, 2-night package for 2 adults to more than 24 of America's top travel destinations. Now, we should be clear that you don't get to go to every single one of these destinations. However, you can pick from Phoenix, Orange County, Denver, Washington, D.C., Minneapolis, Las Vegas, Chicago, San Antonio, Indianapolis, Fort Lauderdale. You know what, I could read them off, but most of them are warm except for Indianapolis and Minneapolis. So you can get any of those 2-night hotel stays at any of those places as another getaway experience.
Love it.
3-night Gaylord hotel package for 2 adults at your choice of hotel properties. A $200 resort gift card is included. You'll receive 5-star accommodations and an exquisite dining experience, all part of this extraordinary 4-day, 3-night package for 2 adults at any one of these following Gaylord properties: in Opryland, Nashville, at the Palms in Orlando, at the Texan Grapevine, or at the Gaylord Rockies, Colorado. Pack your bags for an amazing travel destination valid at any of the above properties for 24 months from purchase. I don't know, what are you thinking, Zora? Nashville? Is Nashville up more of her speed?
Yeah, I think so. Might prefer a little more to Kentucky, but Nashville's pretty good too.
Well, speaking of Kentucky,
Oh, no way.
our next one is a 3-night Kentucky bourbon package for 2 adults.
Zora, we are there.
Right there. Zora loves the sauce. Everybody knows how much she's into bourbon. And so as part of this trip, you get to tour 4 bourbon distilleries: Buffalo Trace, Woodford Reserve, 4 Roses, and Wild Turkey. In addition, you get a $150 gift card to Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse and accommodations provided in Lexington, Kentucky at your choice of a number of different beautiful hotels down there. So those are the silent auction items. Fantastic, perhaps our best ones ever. You better get on them quick, because Zora is learning how to use a laptop, and she is going to be bidding on all of the items she told you earlier, I believe.
Yeah, she's already made a few bids, so I'd check it out really fast.
You have until 6 o'clock tonight. You can find the link in the emails that you've been sent through MailChimp to the One Cause platform where you can bid on all these items. You can also find them at our website, where you can also donate if you choose not to bid on a silent auction at LOMCP.com. Again, that's LOMCP.com. Zora, thank you so much for helping us share our silent auctions items for this year.
I told you, she really likes the fox.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I personally am going to bid on the trip to Vegas, so I'd appreciate if nobody else bids on that one. But seriously, those are our items. They're spectacular, they're fantastic, they're the best we've ever had, and we hope that you think so too. So the bidding ends at 6 o'clock, which is just over an hour and a half from now, and so now is the time to put in those final bids and help support the Lynn Olson Medical Crisis Project. If you choose not to bid, please donate. Anything helps, whether it's $5,000, $5, anything in between. Everything goes to this great cause and helps people like Elizabeth, who you saw earlier. And look, any donation is going to make Zora smile, and that's worth it, if nothing else at all. Also, my hand tastes great, and so for an extra $20 donation, I'll let you lick my hand later on when I see you in person. So again, LOMCP.com is where you can go to donate. Deb, take it away.
I thank you so much for being with us today, enjoying the gala in its new place perhaps maybe even next year we'll have the gala here and we'll start a new tradition at our equestrian place with Zora again. So I thank you. We have so much to be thankful for, even at times of uncertainty. So it's the gratitude that we should continue to focus on and be thankful that we are surrounded by our loved ones at all times. So be safe, be healthy, and we will look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.
Thank you.